Good evening. I would like to welcome you all to my program. You know, I've been coming like this with messages that are centered around love and care. The other time I was looking at a three-tier identification of a person. I looked at the identification relating to an individual. The same individual identified with the family, then with the tribe, or should I say with the community, with the people, whatever you may call it. Now, as I'm looking at this important matter, I am brought to a place where I'm reflecting on a street child. And I would want to pose a simple question. Have you at any time asked these street children about their names? When you ask them for their names, they will definitely respond and give you their names. They will tell you what their names are. Meaning that they understand their identity. They know themselves. And if you go further now to ask, how did they know their names? Where did they get their names? Those people did not give themselves their names. They were given by people who were very closer to them. And more so, parents, either mothers or fathers, or both, by the agreement of the two. Then you go further now to ask, if these people have got strong family identity, that they are able even to identify themselves, why are they on the street? That is a question that any society, any people, any community should basically ask. Why are they on the streets? Have we taken time as a society? Have we taken time as a church to ask those questions, those people, about their names, their identity? And the reason why we ask, or we have to ask about their identity, so that we can take corrective action, remedial action towards those people. Definitely don't expect that a normal person should be brought up on the street. Any person who is in the world has got an identity. Is coming from somewhere. What am I talking about? Any name has got a story behind. Any name has got a story of the background behind. The story of the family. The story of a tribe. The story of a nation. If I were me as Humphrey Lukonde was to go outside the country, when I identify myself by my name, they would even know where I'm coming from. And this name carries a story, a family story. They would know exactly, people would know exactly where I came from, which district, which place, which family. People will know me just by the name. But I know that most of these street kids are not just on the street for the just sake of being on the street. There are circumstances around their situation, circumstances that have forced them to be where they are at the moment. Some, as we have, most of the common problems is a problem of loss. they have lost their parents, and now they run onto the street. And sometimes I tend to wonder how somebody can lose a parent, a father and mother, then straight away goes into the street, meaning that such a person does not have a wider family, does not have an extended family, just on their own. That's where my concern is. Then I've seen some of the children who are just swinging like pendulum from one end to the other. Parents who were properly married, divorced. Then after divorcing, the father goes and marries somewhere. The mother goes and gets married somewhere. Then the child, each time they decide to visit their father, they are not accommodated by their stepmother. Then they go to the other side. Each time they want to visit their mother, they are not accommodated by their stepfather. At the end, they are just swinging in between. And the worst part of it is that even other relatives tend to ignore them. So they have got no alternative but to find themselves on the street. These are common problems in our midst. Now, this brings me to the narrative, to the story of Esther. Esther was an orphan. Was an orphan, double orphan. But since Esther had a family identity, a strong family identity, he was taken care of. The Bible records that she was taken care of by the cousin, you see. Because she was part of the family. Despite loss of the parents, one member of the family stepped into the shoes of the parents, stepped into the shoe where he started caring for the cousin, for Esther, until Esther grew up to take care or to take worthwhile responsibilities in life. Esther became a queen. Though for a while, the unfortunate part is that Esther almost forgot about her background. Because when the people of Israel were almost in trouble, were at risk, Esther could not intervene. She forgot that she had a strong family identity. She had a strong tribal identity as a Jew. If anything, as she was being brought up, her own people had hidden her identity. Even when she became a queen, her identity was hidden as a Jew. But she forgot. But why the identity was hidden? It was for the sake of protection. They wanted to protect her because the family loved her so much. The tribe of it loved her so much. Everyone within the nation of Israel, loved her so much that they didn't want to reveal her identity. But she almost forgot. But her own cousin, the one who brought her up, reminded her. And I am happy that Esther, after getting reminded, she retraced her steps and went back to her senses and stepped into the issue, and the people of Israel were saved. So that is a story. So when you look at the family is quite important in the life of a person. The tribe is very important in the life of a person. The clan is very important in the life of a person. The nation is very important in the life of a person. So when we see children on the street, they have got a background. We need to step in as a society, as a community, be the church, be the government, whichever background, be a school, be whatever social institution. Let's step in and ask those questions so that we can serve a wider, community of young people who are destined to do. If we don't serve them now, definitely we are likely not to have Esthers out of those people. We are likely not to have people like Joseph, because the family of Joseph decided to throw Joseph overboard. But because Joseph had a strong, personal identity, he was known by God, he was revealed in Egypt by God himself. So we should not be like Cain, who asked an ironic question to God in providing an answer. Am I a keeper of my brother? Not at all. Let's look at these people with compassion. They are our children. They are our brothers. If they are nurtured properly, then definitely we are going to see a strong nation out of these people. We are going to see strong leaders out of these people. We are going to see strong teachers, strong soldiers, strong doctors, engineers, and many, people coming out of this community of young people. This is my message today to you. Thank you very much.